Today let us start with solutions. Solution is a homogeneous mixture whose components can be varied within a certain limits. There are three types of homogeneous mixture like binary solution, tertiary solution, quaternary solution. Binary means two components, consists two components. Tertiary means three components, quaternary four components. In this chapter we will only discuss about binary solutions. In binary solution there are two components, namely solute and solvent, and which forms solution. Solute is which has less quantity, and solvent has more quantity. Now let us discuss about the solute and solvent and type of solution and examples. First, solid type is solid in solid. It forms alloys. Liquid in solid, and it forms hydrated salts. Example CuSO4.5H2O. Then gas in solid. Example pure mixture. Then solid in liquid. Example sugar solution, salt solution, etc. Then liquid in liquid like alcohol plus water. Then gas in liquid, aerated drinks like cool drinks, etc. Then solid in gas, I2, iodine in air, and camphor will disperse into air. For example, next liquid in gas, humidity in air. Then gas in gas is air. Air is mixture of gases, as we know. Now let us discuss about solubility. Amount of solute in 100 grams of solvent to prepare a saturated solution at a given temperature is known as solubility. We have three types of solution: unsaturated solution, saturated solution, and supersaturated solution. We know about unsaturated solution. Let us take an example. For example, we have NaOH, which can form a saturated solution at 25 degrees with 25 grams. But we have only 20 grams in unsaturated solutions. That means solute is less in solvent. And in saturated we have exactly 25 grams. That means solute is equal to solvent. And in supersaturation solution, solute is more than solvent. That means it may have 30 grams. It is known as supersaturation. But these states can be changes with the change of temperature, as you can see here. When unsaturated solution is heated, it becomes more unsaturated, and when it is cooled down, it becomes a saturated solution. Then saturated solution, when heated, it becomes unsaturated. When the heat is increased, when heat is decreased, that means it is cooled down, then it becomes supersaturated. And then supersaturated solution, when it is heated, it becomes saturated. When it is cooled down also, it will become saturated. So we can say that in supersaturated solution, if any disturbance occur, it will become saturated solution. Now let us discuss about concentration terms. First is strength. Mass of solute per liter of solution, where unit is gram per liter. Example, here we can take a beaker which consists 2 liter of solute, and solute is 40 gram of NaCl. Then solvent is 2 liter. Here strength equal to mass of solute, that means per liter. Here we have 2 liters. That means for 1 liter how many grams solute is needed? That means 40 by 2 liter equal to 20 liter gram liter strength. Then percentage. Parts of solute per 100 parts of solution is known as percentage. We have three types of percentage. Percentage by mass, which is weight by weight or mass by mass, is mass of solute by mass of solution into 100. Then percentage of volume, volume by volume, volume of solute by volume of solution into 100. Then percentage mass by volume is mass of solute by volume of solution. Here the unit of mass by volume is gram liter, but in both volume by volume and mass by mass, they do not have any unit because they will cancel out. Here mass by volume equal to mass of solute by volume of solution into 100. Now let us move on to molarity, which is denoted by capital M. Number of moles of solute per liter of solution is known as molarity. M equal to number of moles of solute by volume of solution in liter, or we can write like given mass of solute by molecular mass into 1000 by volume of solution in milliliter. Then for example, let us see a problem which is related to molarity. Calculate a Calculate molarity of solution obtained by dissolving 4 grams of NaOH in 12 liter of solution. They given NaOH in 2 liter. That means the molarity equal to given mass of solute. Given mass is 4 grams and molecular mass of NaOH is 40. So 4 by 40 into 1000 by they gave 2 liter, we have to convert into milliliter, that means 2000 by 2000 milliliter. We will get 1 by 20, as you can see here. We will get 0.05 molarity. Then let us take an example 2. Here we have two solutions. In first solution we have the mass m1, then volume v1, which are initial. When we add the amount of H2O to the first solution, it becomes a final solution having mass m2, volume v2. Here we will use dilution equation, that is m1 v1 equal to m2 v2. 1 gram given solution, which is 100 grams, is diluted till m becomes 0.1. Find the volume of H2O added for the dilution. Here they given m1 equal to 1 and v1 equal to 100, they have given that, and m2 equal to 0.1 molarity. Then v2 equal to, we have to find, as we know the equation m1 v1 equal to m2 v2, so 1 into 100 equal to 0.1 into x. We'll take v2 as x, then v2 equal to 100 by 0.1, we'll get 1000 ml. That means we have 1000 ml, the final solution mass equal to 1000 ml, but they ask the number of they ask the volume of the water which is added for dilution, not the final. So we have to subtract final minus the initial, then we'll get the number of the volume of water which is added to dilution, for dilution. The volume of water added for dilution equal to v2 minus v1, final minus equal to 1000 minus 100 equal to 900 ml. So 900 ml is added to the initial volume to become final volume, that is 1000. Now let us move on to example 3. Here we have a beaker of 1 m HCl and 100 milliliter plus 2 m HCl 100 ml, which gives rise to how much m. Here we will take molarity of mixture equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 equal to m3 v3, where m3 equal to we have to calculate m3. Here m3 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 by v3. So we can calculate this as like this by using this formula. Then let us discuss about molality, which is represented by small m. Number of moles of solute per kg of solvent is known as molality. M equal to number of moles of solute by mass of solvent in kg, or we can represent it as m equal to mass by molecular weight into 1000 by mass of solvent in gram. Let us discuss an example problem. Here find the mass of NaOH which should be dissolved in 1 kg H2O to obtain 0.1 solution. Here they have given molality, that is 0.1. So m equal to, that is 0.1 equal to mass. They said we have to find the mass. So mass by molecular weight, we already know NaOH is 40 gram. So mass by molecular weight into 1000 by they gave 1 kg of H2O, that means 1000 grams. So 1000 cancel, and here mass by 40. So we can write like mass equal to 0.1 into 40, that is 4 grams. So we need 4 grams of NaOH which can be dissolved in 1 kg of H2O to obtain 0.1 molality of solution. Now let us discuss another concentration term, which is normality, which is represented by capital N. Number of gram equivalents of solution per liter of solution. Here N equal to number of gram equivalents by volume of solution, or in liter, or we can write like N equal to given mass by equivalent mass into 1000 by volume of solution. How can we find the equivalent mass? Equivalent mass equal to molar mass by N factor. And what is N factor? N factor, if we take acid, then we have to take its basicity. If we take a base, then we have to take the acidity. Basicity means how many H plus ions are present. Then acidity means how many OH minus ions are left. Then if we take a salt, then we have to take total positive charge on the molecules. Now let us move on to the dilution equation of normality. Here, as we have seen the molarity dilution equation, same as that, N1V1 equal to N2V2. Then normality of mixture equal to acid. It is of two types again. In it, first is acid plus acid or base plus base. That means we have two components same. Then we have to take N final equal to N1V1 plus N2V2 plus N3V3 and so on. How many components we have to take that by total. Then the second option is acid plus base, not the same component. Then we have to take first NaVa equal to number of gram equivalents of acid, then NbVb equal to number of gram equivalents of base. In first one, acid plus base, where NaVa is greater than NbVb, that means we have to conclude that this is an acidic solution. Then N equal to NaVa plus NbVb by V total, NaVa minus NbVb by V total. Then acid plus base, where NaVa is less than NbVb, that means it is basic solution. Then N equal to NbVb minus NaVa by V total. Now let us move on to other concentration term, mole fraction. The ratio of number of moles of one component to the total number of mass is known as total number of moles is known as mole fraction. Here solution we can take for example A plus B. Then mole fraction A, that is chi A equal to Na by Na plus Nb. Chi B equal to Nb by Na plus Nb, where sum of chi A plus chi B equal to 1. Then parts per million, ppm equal to mass of solute by mass of solution into 10 to the power of 6, or we can write mass of solute by mass of solution into 10 to the power of 6. Here we can see some concentration terms like percentage weight by weight, molality, mole fraction are temperature independent. Let us discuss some important binary solutions. First is solid in solid solution, where solute plus solvent are both solid, where they give solution which is solid again. Then there are two types, substitutional solid and interstitial solid. Substitutional solids, they almost have same size. For example, Fe plus Cr, when they form a lattice, some places are occupied by iron and other places are occupied by chromium. Where in interstitial solid they have different sizes. One substance is very small, where they occupy the interstitial sites. For example, Fe plus carbon, they form steel, and when they form a lattice, the Fe occupies all the lattice points, and carbon only occupies the interstitial places of the iron lattice. Now gas in liquid solution, where solvent plus solute gives rise to liquid. Then solubility of gas depends upon the following factors. First is nature of gas, and the nature of gas may be polar or non-polar. Polar gases are more soluble in water than non-polar gases. Nature of solvent. In solvent we can see the similar characters dissolve in similar characters, like dissolves like. Then temperature, when temperature increases the solubility decreases. Then pressure, according to Henry's law, we can see the pressure, how it affects. Mass of gas dissolved is directly proportional to its partial pressure, where P is directly proportional to chi gas, where P equal to KH chi gas. That means KH is Henry's constant. Now let us move on to solid in liquid, which is solute plus solvent equal to liquid. Then solubility depends on following factors. First is nature of solute, that means it may be ionic or covalent. Ionic has delta hydration, that is greater than lattice energy, then soluble in water. If delta hydration is greater than lattice energy, then it is soluble in water. Where covalent bonding, H bonding is present, then if hydrogen bonding is present, then they are soluble in water. Then nature of solvent, Like dissolves like. Temperature, it is of both types. Exothermic substances have positive, that is positive, their solubility increases with increase in temperature. Endothermic substances, the solubility decreases with increase in temperature. Here let us see the solubility curve for when we have taken here gram per liter and here temperature. Here you can see the positive deviation in KMnO4 and NaCl, and there is negative deviation in LiNO3. Here some uh, interesting graph is shown by hydrated salts where it increases the temperature, and here you can see the transitional temperature, and suddenly it decreases its temperature. Now let us move on to the topic liquid and some characters of liquid. First is evaporation. It is spontaneous conversion of liquid into vapor state is known as evaporation. Factors affecting evaporation. First is nature of liquid, that is it depends upon the bonds between the liquid particles. For example, hydrogen bond and for example, water have hydrogen bond, ether have van der Waals forces. Hydrogen bond is more stronger than van der Waals forces, so if so it is hard to break, and if it has high bond energy, the evaporation will be low, and van der Waals forces are weak than hydrogen bond, so it has low bond energy, so evaporation will be more. Temperature. If temperature increases, the rate of evaporation increases with any bond. Surface area increases, surface area increases, evaporation increases. Flow of wind increases, evaporation also increases. Then vapor pressure. Pressure exerted by vapors over the surface of liquid at equilibrium is known as vapor pressure. At equilibrium, rate of vapor pressure equal to rate of condensation. Factors affecting. First is nature of liquid. The vapor pressure is directly proportional to volatility, that means evaporation. Then temperature. According to Collis-Keltron equation, log P2 by P1 equal to delta H vapor 2.303 R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. And here vapor pressure is independent of surface area. Vapor pressure is intensive property which does not depend upon the quantity. Boiling point. The temperature at which the vapor pressure of liquid becomes equal to the external pressure is known as boiling point. For example, water has 100 degrees Celsius, whereas other components have different boiling points. Then factors. Nature of liquid, that is magnitude of intermolecular forces of attraction. There are two types again. H2 bonding has high boiling point, whereas van der Waals forces has low boiling points. Then H2 bonding. As H2 bonding are they need more energy to break their bonds, so they need high boiling point, whereas van der Waals forces are weak than H2 bonds, so they need less boiling points. For example, H2O, alcohol, carboxylic acids are under H2 bond, and under this H2S, CaCl4, C6H12, etc. When we take both van der Waals forces and compare their boiling points, then we have to take the molecules which have high molecular mass. Then which have high molecular mass, they have high boiling points in both substances which have van der Waals forces. Then external pressure. We can adjust the external pressure according to the vapor pressure and increase the boiling point. Then freezing point. Temperature at which the vapor pressure of liquid is equal to the vapor pressure of solid, or temperature at which the liquid and solid state have dynamic equilibrium. Here you can see the graph of vapor pressure and temperature. H2O from room temperature, it decreases the temperature and slowly comes down to the ice, which is freezing temperature, and then it decreases furthermore when vapor pressure is increased. Now let us discuss about vapor pressure of solution. It is liquid plus liquid, where Raoult's law is given. The partial pressure of any liquid in mixture is product of its mole fraction in liquid state, and vapor pressure of liquid is pure state. Example, here you can see here the partial pressure of A plus B is mixed, that means solution A plus B is mixed. A has its own volatility, and B has its own volatility. Both will evaporate, but in different states. The vapor pressure of solution is Pa plus Pb. So we can write here, as the Rolle's law states, the mole fraction in liquid state and vapor pressure of in pure state are equal. So we will take Pa equal to chi A Pa plus Pb equal to chi B Pb. So the partial pressure Ps equal to chi A Pa naught plus chi B Pb naught, where chi A plus chi B equal to 1. So we can take chi A equal to 1 minus chi B. Here we'll substitute in place of chi A, we'll substitute 1 minus chi B. So Ps equal to 1 minus chi B Pa naught plus chi B P P naught B. Then Ps equal to P naught A minus chi B Pa naught plus chi B Pb naught. Then Ps equal to chi B common, then Pb naught minus Pa naught plus Pa naught. Vapor pressure of solution is functional of its mole fraction. Here you can see the vapor pressure of if chi A equal to 1, then chi B equal to 0. In graph you can see here we can take chi, here vapor pressure, then chi A equal to 1, chi B equal to 0. Here Ps equal to chi A Pa naught plus chi B Pb naught. Here Ps equal to, as we know, chi A equal to 1, so 1 into Pa naught plus 0 into Pb. So Ps equal to Pa. From here it will go straight, it has straight line. Then here similar to Ps, we have here Ps equal to Pb, where Pa equal to 0, Pb equal to 1. So it will also go in a straight line, and this is the sum of both chi A and chi Pab and P naught A and P naught B, which is Ps. Ps equal to straight line here. Ps equal to Pa naught plus Pb. Now let us discuss some example problems. First, 1 mole of A and 3 mole of B is mixed at room temperature. If vapor pressure in pure state of liquid A equal to 40 and liquid B equal to 10, then calculate vapor pressure of solution. Here Ps equal to, we know the formula, chi A Pa naught plus chi B Pb naught. Then chi A equal to 1 by 4. As we know, they gave 1 mole, A equal to 1, and the total, we know the mole fraction formula, right? Mole fraction formula is number of moles by total number of total number of moles in a solution. So 1 by 4, here 1 mole is A, and 1 plus 3, 4 equal to 4. Then chi B equal to 3 by 4. Here Ps equal to 1 by 4 into 40. Pa they have given as 40, and Pb equal to 10. So 1 by 4 into 40 equal to 10. 3 by 4 into 10 equal to 7.5. So we can add them, we will get 17.5. Then similar question, 3.2 grams of methanol we will take as A. Then it has PCH3OH equal to 50 mmHg. Then 4.6 gram of ethanol B. PC2H5OH equal to 100 grams of 100 mmHg. Mix to prepare solution. Find the vapor pressure of the solution. Ps equal to chi A P naught A plus chi B P naught B. Here we'll take mole fraction of CH3OH. Then that is number of moles of CH3OH by total solution moles. So 3.2 by 32 by 3.2 by 32 plus 4.6 by 46. We'll get 0.1 by 0.1 plus 0.1 equal to 0.1 by 0.2 equal to half equal to 0.5. It is same when we take C2H5OH. So we'll get 0.5 again, where Ps equal to, we will take half here, half into 50. Pa we already know 50 mmHg. Then Pb equal to 100 mmHg. So half into 50 plus half into 100, which we will get 75 mmHg. Now let us discuss mole fraction of component in vapor stage. Here we have one solution which consists A plus B. The partial pressure of non-reacting gas is equal to chi gas into P total. Partial pressure equal to chi gas into PS, which is the partial pressure. Here we use chi for reacting gases, and non-reacting gases we use Ya, the partial pressure by vapor pressure of the solution. Now let us discuss some. 1 mole of cyclohexane where P not equal to 100 mmHg mixed with 4 mole of cyclopentane P not equal to 200 mmHg. Calculate the mole fraction of components in liquid state in vapor phase. In liquid state we use Ya. Chi cyclohexane equal to 1 by 4. As we know, the mole by number of moles in the solution, 1 by 4. Then here 1 by 5, 1 by 5. Then PCH equal to 1 by 5 into 100, we'll get 20 mmHg. Then 4 by 5 into 200 equal to 160 mmHg. Then partial pressure PS equal to 20 plus 160, we'll get 190 mmHg total partial pressure. Then Y cyclohexane equal to, that means the liquid mole fraction of components in liquid state Y cyclohexane equal to 20 by 180, which is 1 by 9. Then Y cyclopentane equal to 160 by 180, which is 8 by 9. Now let us discuss about ideal and non-ideal solution. Ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions. First let us discuss about ideal solutions. Ideal solutions obeys the Raoult's law, that means PS equal to PA plus PB, whereas non-ideal solution shows positive and negative deviations from the Raoult's law. First let us discuss about the ideal solutions. In ideal solutions, the delta H mix equal to 0 and delta V mix equal to 0. And condition here, the interaction bond, that means the bond between A and B equal to A and B, AA and BB. For example, benzene and toluenes, which have similar molecules and similar mass. But we know that ideal molecules does not exist. All are non-ideal. So this is just a theory, not exemption. They are not there in practical manner. Now let us discuss non-ideal solution. Here we can see the negative deviation and positive deviation from the Raoult's law, which is shown by the non-ideal solution. Here PS in positive deviation, PS is greater than chi A PA naught plus chi B PB naught, where here negative deviation PS is less than chi A PA naught plus chi B PB naught. Then delta H mix is greater than 0, delta V mix is also greater than 0. Here delta H mix is less than 0, delta V mix is less than 0. Here you can see the greater, that means positive deviation. Though here in graph we can see first the normal line is like this, but we have the positive deviation like this. Here we have negative deviation. Normal line is like this, but this goes like this. It has at certain point it has maximum vapor pressure and minimum boiling point. At certain point it has maximum boiling point and minimum vapor pressure. Now let us see the conditions of both of these. First condition is the bond between A and B is less than AA or BB. Here bond between AB is greater than AA or BB. Example is C2H5OH, that is alcohol plus cyclohexane. Here cyclohexane solution is added to the alcohol, where it breaks the hydrogen bond between them, so that it becomes easy to evaporate. Whereas here you can see the example is CCl3H with CCH3O, where it forms a hydrogen bond between these both, so it is hard to break or evaporate them. Now let us discuss about a geotropic mixture and zeotropic mixture. Zeotropic mixture are those solutions whose components can be separated by repeated distillation. It is shown by all ideal solutions. Then azeotropic mixture are those solutions whose components cannot be separated by repeated distillation. Non-ideal solutions show this type of azeotropic mixture. There are two types. Minimum boiling zeotropes, that means they have positive deviation. Example, 20.3% weight by weight of HCl and 68% weight by weight of HNO3. Then maximum boiling azeotrope which have a negative deviation. Example, 95.37% W by W ethanol and 71.7%. Now let us discuss about vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute. Here you can see non-volatile solute is sugar, where here we can see the water solution, water plus sugar solution and normal water. Here the non-volatile substance do not allow to lose the water, so we can say the vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solution will always be less than the pure state. Now let us move on to Raoult's law. PS equal to P solvent, or we can write PS equal to chi solvent into P solvent, then PS by P chi, P naught equal to chi solvent, or 1 minus PS by P naught equal to 1 minus chi solvent. So P naught minus PS equal to P naught equal to chi solvent, solute. Here P naught minus PS equal to lowering of volume vapor pressure. Now let us discuss about colligative properties. All those properties of dilute solution which depends upon number of particles instead of nature of particles are known as colligative properties. There are 4 types of colligative properties. First is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Colligative properties are mainly used for determination of molecular mass of solute. First, let us discuss about the first colligative property, relative lowering of vapor pressure. P naught minus PS by P naught equal to chi solute. P naught equal to vapor pressure of pure liquid, where P naught minus PS by P naught equal to relative lowering of vapor pressure. P naught minus PS equal to lowering of vapor pressure, and it is not a colligative property, where P naught minus PS by P naught equal to N solute by N solvent plus N solvent, where xi is chi solute. If solution is very dilute solution, then P naught minus PS by P naught equal to N solute by N solvent. P naught minus PS by P naught equal to weight of solute by molecular mass by weight of solvent by molecular mass. Experimentally it is determined by Oswald and Wacker process. For example, let us see a sum. Calculate the vapor pressure of solution at 373 Kelvin if 60 grams of urea dissolved in 90 grams of H2O. Here 373 Kelvin is boiling point, which is equal to 1 atm. Then P naught minus PS by P naught equal to N solute by N solute plus N solvent. Here P naught equal to 1 atm, where PS we have to find. N urea equal to 60 by 60, N solvent equal to 90 by 18 equal to 5. So 1 minus PS by 1 equal to 1 by 6. 6 minus 6 PS equal to 1. So minus cancel. Here PS equal to 5 by 6. Another example, what mass of glucose should be dissolved in 1 kg of water so that vapor pressure of solute decreases by 50%? Assume dilute solution. So P naught minus PS by P naught equal to N solute by N solute plus N solvent. Then 100 minus 50 by 100 equal to weight by molecular mass. Molecular mass is 180 and here 1000 by 80. So 1 by 2 equal to W into 18 by 180 by 180 into 1000. So 1 by 2 equal to W by 1000, 10,000. Here W equal to 10,000 into half, that is 5,000 grams. Now let us discuss second colligative property, that is elevation in boiling point, that is also known as ebullioscopy. The boiling point of any solution is higher than the boiling point of pure liquid. Here you can see the graph. Here is the solvent and here is the solution. Here the boiling point of solution is greater than the boiling point of the solvent. So delta TB equal to Ts minus T naught, where delta Tp can also be written as Kb into m. M is molality and Kb equal to molar equation constant. So delta TB equal to Kb into weight of solute by weight of mass, molecular mass of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent. So M solute equal to Kb by delta T into weight of solute by weight of solvent into 1000. Kb equal to RTB square by 1000 LV. Here TB equal to boiling point of liquid and LV is latent heat of vaporization pressure per gram. Example problem: calculate boiling point of 0.1 molar aqueous solution of sugar where Kb of H2O is 0.5. So delta TB equal to Ts minus T naught. So here they have given that T naught equal to 100 degrees Celsius, as we know the boiling point of water, and Ts equal to, we have to find it. So TB equal to Kb into m. Here Kb is already given 0.5. So 0.5 into 0.1. So delta TB equal to 0.05. 0.05 equal to Ts minus 100 degrees Celsius, which is 100.05. So Ts equal to 100.05 degrees Celsius. Then boiling point of unknown solute is 100.5 degrees Celsius. Calculate the molecular mass of this solute if 5 grams of it is present in 100 grams of water. Delta TB equal to 100.5 minus 100, that is 0.5. Then delta TB equal to Kb into weight of solute by mass of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent. Then M solute equal to 0.5 into 5 by 0.5 into 1000 by 100. So M solute is 50 grams. Now let us move on to third one: depression in freezing point, that is also known as crypsorpy. Freezing point of solution is always lower than freezing point of the pure state. At freezing point of solution, only solvent freezes. At freezing point of solid solvent and liquid solvent exist in dynamic equilibrium. Here by graph you can understand. This is solvent and this is solution. Always the solution freezes after the solvent freezes. This is the freezing point of solvent and this is the freezing point of solution. The rate between them is known as delta Tf. So delta Tf equal to T naught minus Ts. Delta Tf equal to T naught minus Ts and delta Tf equal to Kf into m. Kf is molar depression constant or crypsorphic constant. Delta Tf equal to Kf into W solute by molecular mass of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent. M solute molecular mass of solute equal to Kf by delta Tf into W solute by weight of solvent into 1000. And Boltzmann method is used experimentally to find this. Let us see a problem. Calculate freezing point of solution if 6 grams of urea is dissolved in 1 kg of water. Here delta Tf equal to Kf into W weight of solute by molecular mass of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent. Delta Tf equal to 1.86 into 6 by 60 into 1000 by 1000. Delta Tf equal to 186 by 1000 equal to 0.186. So here delta Tf equal to T naught minus Ts. Here Ts equal to T naught minus delta Tf. Ts equal to 0.0 minus 0.186. So delta Ts equal to minus 0.186 degrees Celsius. Now let us know about osmotic pressure. Osmosis: a spontaneous flow of solvent molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration when separated by semi-permeable membrane is known as osmosis. Semi-permeable membrane. These allow passage of solvent molecules only. The nature of semi-permeable, which is natural, which is found in pig bladder, cell membranes, etc. Then artificial are cellophane, parchment paper, inorganic precipitate of copper, ferrocyanate, etc. Here let us do an experiment. Here we have semi-permeable membrane between two beakers, where one beaker consists of aqueous COSO4 and one beaker consists of water. So we can see after some time that side of CuSO4 is gained water from the side of, so it moves from low concentration to high concentration, where we can do another experiment. Here we have CuSO4 with dilute solution, and here we have concentrated CuSO4. So we can see here solution moves from low concentration to high concentration. From dilute solution it moves to concentrated solution until it becomes equilibrium. Then osmotic pressure. The minimum pressure must be applied to prevent the flow of solvent molecules is known as osmotic pressure. Pi equal to osmotic pressure, which is directly proportional to C and directly proportional to T. So we can write pi is directly proportional to Ct, where C is concentration, molarity, then T is temperature, and we will take proportionality symbol and add a constant, which is R, solution constant, which is taken as 0.081821 liter atmosphere. Pi equal to CRT. We can also write like pi equal to N by V into RT, where pi equal to weight of solute by molecular mass of solute into RT by volume in liter. M solute equal to weight of solute by pi into RT by volume in liter. Then types of osmosis. First is exosmosis, outer flow of solvent. Let us experiment. Take an egg whose shell is dissolved and have an egg plasma membrane. Now place this egg in a NaCl solution. After some time we can see that eggs get shrink. That means it is moving from inside to outside. Then endosmosis, which move inside flow of solvent. Experiment. Take a shellless egg and place in water. After some time we can see that they get swollen and burst. Now let us know about reverse osmosis. It is used to purify the saline water. Here the pressure applied is known as osmotic pressure, but it is greater than osmotic pressure. So the water from saline water moves forcibly to the normal water by purifying the salinity. On basis of osmotic pressure, types of solution. Let us consider two solutions, that is pi A and pi B, AB. If pi A equal to pi B, then isotonic solution, CaRT equal to CbRT. Then NA equal to, here you can see Va by Ma equal to Va by Mb. Then second is hypotonic and hypertonic. If delta A is greater than delta B, then we can say delta is hypertonic and delta B is hypotonic. Abnormal molecular mass. If calculated molecular mass is different than observed molecular mass, it is known as abnormal molecular mass. Molecular mass is directly proportional to 1 by colligative properties. Colligative properties depend upon number of particles. If solute is non-electrolyte, like urea, sugar, glucose, naphthalene, then observed molecular mass equal to calculated molecular mass. If solute is undergoing dissociation, for example NaCl of 1 mole gives rise to Na plus and Cl minus of 1 mole, then observed colligative properties will be double of that of actual colligative properties, that is delta pi equal to CRT, and observed molecular mass will be half of the calculated molecular mass. If solute is undergoing association, for example CH3COOH in benzene, number of particles decreases, observed colligative properties will also decrease, and observed molecular mass will be twice that of calculated molecular mass. Now let us discuss about Van-House factors, that is known as I. I is equal to number of particles in solution by number of particles in ideally present, or we can write observed colligative properties by ideal colligative properties. I equal to molecular mass of calculated by molecular mass observed. So delta P equal to I into N solute by I into N solute plus N solvent. Pi equal to I into CRT. Delta TB equal to I into KBM. Delta TF equal to I into KF into M. Value of I. If solution is non-electrolyte, then I equal to 1. For example, urea, sugar solution, etc. If solution is undergoing dissociation, I is greater than 1. For example, strong acid, base, then salt, etc. Ions. If solution is undergoing association, then I is less than 1. Calculating I value in dissociation. Solute is 100% ionized, then I equal to number of ions produced in the solution. For example, NaCl, which dissociates into Na plus and Cl minus, I equal to 2. Here there are 2 ions present, 1, 2, so I equal to 2. Then CaCl, here 1, 2, 3 are present, so I equal to 3. Here we can see I is 5 because 4 plus 1. Then here 3 plus 1, 4. Now solution is not 100% dissociation, then I equal to, here we can consider AB, which is divided into A plus and B minus. Initially it has 1 and 0 0, so we can consider 1 minus alpha, here alpha and alpha. If degree of dissociation of solute is alpha, then NT total equal to 1 minus alpha plus alpha plus alpha. We'll get I equal to 1 plus alpha. Then let us discuss a question. Calculate Warshau's factor I for Na2SO4, which is 20% dissociated. So Na2SO4, 2Na plus SO4. Here 1 minus alpha, 2x, 2 alpha, then alpha. We'll get 1 plus 2 alpha, where alpha is already given, which is 20%. So we should write 0.2. 1 plus 1 plus 2 into 0.2 equal to 1.4. Calculating I value in association. If solute is 100% association, then it may form dimerization, trimerization, polymerization. Dimer here 2 are connected, so 1 by 2. Here 3 are converted, so 1 by 3. Polymerization, here n number of particles are connected, so we can write 1 by n. If solute is not 100% association, then we should consider like here Na equal to 1 minus S and An equal to alpha by n. If alpha is degree of association, then for example C6H5OH gives rise to C6H5OH into power 2. So here 100, so here 0, then 100 minus 50 equal to 50 by 2. Then 100 minus 50 plus 50 by 2 equal to 75. So the n total equal to 1 minus alpha plus alpha by n. We'll get I. I is directly proportional to colligative property. So pi is directly proportional to I, delta TB is proportional to I, delta TF is proportional to I, then delta P also proportional to I. But boiling point is proportional to I, freezing point is inversely proportional to I, vapor pressure is also inversely proportional to the I. Calculate the osmotic pressure of 0.85 W by V aqueous solution of NaNO3, associating that solute is 90% dissociated at 27 degrees. That is pi equal to I CRT. I equal to 1 minus alpha, here alpha, then 1 plus alpha will get 1 plus 0.9, which is 1.9. Here C equal to N by V, so C equal to V by M into 1 by V. Here 0.85 grams of NaCNO3 in 0.1 liter of H2O. C equal to 0.85 by 85 into 1 by 0.1. So we'll get C equal to 1 by 100 into 1 by 0.1 equal to 0.1. Then pi equal to 1 by 9 into 0.1 into 0.08 into 300. Here we'll get pi equal to 4.9 ATM. So we are complete.